Hi guys, welcome back to Kitchen Kolony. And today this video is my favorite because it reminds me of my father. And my father used to make a lot of puddings, potato pudding, cornmeal pudding. And this pudding reminds me of him because it tastes and has the same texture as the one my father used to make. Now, if you'd like to see me do this, then continue watching and you'll see my twist with pumpkin. Now for potato pudding, I'll be using a small potato, but not very big. I think this is about a half pound, and it's the Jamaican white flesh potato. So if I do this, it's not the orange flesh. It's a pumpkin pie filling, and this is what I'll be using with mine. Now here we have some pieces of yam. I had it in the freezer and I just took it out and started getting discolored. But that's how yam is. If you peel it for a while, it gets discolored. Because it was in the refrigerator, it can't be grated. I'll be using cornmeal, half cup of cornmeal. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of it, but this cornmeal is very fine. It's like flour. It's very fine. And I'll be using maybe a half of this. If not, I'll test it while I go along. And I'll be using some breadcrumbs. And I'll tell you why I'll use the breadcrumbs. Some vanilla, nutmeg, cinnamon, and some mixed spice. I'll be adding a little flour, sugar, brown sugar, or a tin of coconut milk, and a pinch of salt. And here we have our mixed fruits and raisins soaked in rum or wine, because I had this from last year, and a little butter. Now it's time to wash and peel our potato. I've decided not to blend my potato, but I'll grate it the original way. Potatoes are very stainy tuber, so you have to wear a glove when grating. Now I'm going to start my mixture by adding 1 tin of coconut milk. Now I'm not adding any water. I want it undiluted. To this I'm going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. And I must add, we'll also need some granulated sugar later on, and I'll show you what you need to do with it. 2 tablespoons of vanilla flavoring. Now we're going to mix to let the sugar dissolve. Now I'm not using any more liquid than this. I might not use all of it, and the reason for that is the pumpkin filling is very soft and that is moisture, so we don't want that, so we might use half of this mixture for our pudding. Now, most of it has dissolved. Now we're going to put it away for a little while. Now it's time to blend our yellow yam, and the reason for blending is because I had it frozen, so I was unable to grate. So I'm going to use a little of the liquid that I've mixed to blend it. Now we're going to blend both yam along with the potato. And then I'm going to add the pumpkin at this point. Now I'm going to add my pumpkin. This is 100% pumpkin and there's no additives. It's as if you boil and crush your own pumpkin. Now I'm going to beat everything together. It's very soft now. This is what we have all blended together: the pumpkin, the yam, and the sweet potato. Adding a half cup of granulated sugar because I'm unable to add the liquid. Now what would be wonderful if we had powdered coconut milk. That would be wonderful, but I didn't have it. Now mix properly. Remember, we have to do this because of the pumpkin, but you can use the other pumpkin, which will be much drier, the one you can grate, and it will be much drier, so you'll be able to use a lot of coconut milk, the liquid that we just mixed. Now it's time to mix our dry ingredients together. Now we'll add more if we need it because of how soft our mixture is. So I'm just using half cup for the moment. I'm going to add half cup of flour. Now if I need more, then I'll add it later on. That's about half cup. And to this, I'm going to add my spices, cinnamon. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cinnamon. 1 teaspoon. Now we add a teaspoon of nutmeg, grounded nutmeg. A third of a teaspoon of mixed spice. Now we're going to add a little salt, small bit, a third of a spoon of salt. Don't want a lot of salt. And we're going to now mix, sieve, sorry. Now we're going to add our breadcrumbs. About a little over half cup, about 3/4 of a cup. Substitute cornmeal for breadcrumbs, or you just use cornmeal alone. Cornmeal for me cause me to have, burns, so I don't like a lot of it, but you can use cornmeal only, and that's why I'm using breadcrumbs. So now mix it together. Normally at this stage, if we're using only potatoes, we would use our mixture that we had before to blend this dry ingredients out. But because this is already soft, we don't want to add too much liquid. So what we're going to do, use from our mixture to start blending out the dry ingredients. So let's mix. Don't want it to get lumpy. We're mixing our flour and our cornmeal and breadcrumbs mixture. I'm going to add the rest to the blend. Now this is about a cup of my liquid. I'm going to use about half of it. We're going to add some melted butter. And this is about a tablespoon. Now we're going to add a little more of our liquid, about half of the remainder of the half cup. Now this is what we want. Now I'm going to add my fruits now. this point you should preheat your oven 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. Normally you'd maybe put some flour, but I didn't see my mom or dad do that, and it was okay, so I'm not going to add flour to this. Now this is pre-soaked fruits and raisins. So I have cherries and other fruits in it. So I'm going to sprinkle it over my mixture right now and blend it in. Now this is what our mix should look like. Remember, we have the pumpkin, which is very soft. So, you know, don't worry about the texture right now. It will come out properly. Now I'm going to spray out my pan and lightly flour it. We don't have to use flour, but I don't want the sticking because of the sugar, so I'm going to put a little flour. Just to prevent any sticking. And we're going to dust it off. Time to throw the mixture in the pan, but before you do that, you need to taste your mixture. Use your finger just to taste a little piece, and if it's sweet enough, it's okay. If not, you add a little more granulated sugar to the mixture. Pumpkin, you could use the red flesh or the orange flesh potato, because it has the same texture. I didn't have any of that, but I've used it before and it came out just as nice. Now I've crunched up a piece of foil to make a dome, just like this. Crunch it, make a dome so that it doesn't touch the pudding, and if it, you know, you will spill, it won't touch it. So we just want to cover it for a while, just for a few. Now if you're going to use a tray like this for baking, remember to put it on maybe a cookie tray or a grill like this to take it to your oven, because these trays are very soft. Adjust your oven from 350 to 300 or 180 to 150 and let it bake for 1 hour. The foil allows the pudding to steam and prevent burning, because remember there was no liquid at the top to protect the pudding, so I had to use the foil to protect it. After we remove the foil, we place the pudding back in the oven and then adjust our stove back to 350 or 180. Allow it to bake for 20 minutes. We're going to add the butter to the mixture that is left, and that's about another tablespoon of melted butter, and we're going to get ready to start basting our pudding after 20 minutes. Now we take it out the oven and get ready to start basting with the liquid that we've just prepared. Put a generous amount of liquid on top of the pudding, then put it in the oven for 5 minutes. Place the pudding in the middle of the oven and adjust your stove. Lower the temperature. Now I am not a fan of the custard, so when the pudding was finished, I turned my oven off and allowed the pudding to stay in the oven for a while to dry it off. Now here we have it, guys. Yummy, moist potato pumpkin pudding. You may have it on its own or have it like I did with some ice cream and fruits. Any way you eat it, it will be delicious. What do you think about it? It was delicious. Now, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please remember to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share my videos, and leave a comment. I'll really appreciate it. Now remember to click the notification bell so that you'll be alerted whenever I upload a video. Thanks for watching again. Bye.